Welcome, everybody, to the next and new episode of 2019
where we interview Beau Yotty.
for his latest 2018 release, Unearthed, The Curse of the Nephthys. And within this film, for the small synopsis, we have Don Slayer, who is played by none other than Beau Yotty. And Don Slayer is tested to the extreme when he's forced into battle with a powerful supernatural force
An ancient Egyptian goddess
known as Nephthys. What's going on, everybody? We are back with an exciting new episode of the 2019 calendar. Man, I almost butchered that one. Whoa, what was I saying? Almost saying there. Anyway, I am Paul Dolsky with the lovely fiance,
Tessa Baker,
and we are here with the man behind the screen with acting, writer, and director, Beau Yotty. Hello, Beau.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh, we are just lovely, just getting ready for that New England storm weather that's supposed to hit sometime tonight or today.
Oh, I was going to wish you a happy new year, so hopefully that goes and it's even happier new year afterwards.
Well, happy New Year to you too, and hopefully you had a great Christmas or holiday or Hanukkah or whatever everybody listened to and you celebrate.
Yeah,
So,
I did. I had a Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had, like you said, whatever their prerogative is, it was happy and healthy.
very cool, very cool. So, Beau, if you don't mind, for people who are listening that may have never heard of you, could you kind of give like an origin story of who you are and how you got into horror and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's probably everyone, but yeah, I grew up a huge fan of cinema. Stallone. I watched every Stallone movie, but then, you know, horror is always there. It's great, timeless. Alfred Hitchcock, one of my favorite directors, and so big fan of movies in general growing up. And then later on, it's just like there's nothing else I really want to do. I love telling stories, making films, and hopefully connecting with the audience, someone watching. And I think that is like one of the greatest joys if you can see someone connecting with your film, your idea, something you've written, that kind of thing. But the movie that really got me liking the psychological and horror would be The Shining. I mean, since I was a kid, I don't know. I'm sure you've seen it. I don't know how many times, but that scene with the mask, and then what was going on? Little Danny was riding his tricycle, and then those two guys with the bear mask, I think it was. I still don't know what kind of mask it is, but that terrified me when I was a kid, and it just stuck with me till now. And I just want to, in my way, try to put something in someone's mind that they remember, like I remember that scene.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty much
that movie was pretty incredible. There's so many memorable. All the blood coming out of the elevator.
Yep.
Nicholson freezing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
spoiler alert! Sorry, I don't know if you haven't seen that by now.
Come and play with us, Danny.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Forever and ever
and ever.
Oh, and
But yeah, as you were saying, Beau.
oh, the scene when Nicholson goes into the room, and the beautiful woman's there, and oh my goodness, all of a sudden you're kissing a zombie. Scared the heck out of me.
Well, I bet you're excited for part 2 for, what are they calling it? Dr. Sweep, I believe.
Yeah, I am. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called yet either.
I want to say it's Dr. Sweep, but,
It sounds right to me.
yeah, it does sound right. And I think that's
Yeah.
next year or so. I don't think it's this year.
Yeah, I think it is next year. It's always, I don't know, it's a little concerning for the sequels, but in this case, it's like, man, I got to see it. It's been so long. I want
I
to see
was
what
just
they
gonna
come
say,
up with.
yeah, exactly. Like it has been a long time, and it is kind of interesting that they've waited this long for a sequel. I mean, even if they were not planning on one, I mean, I really don't know how they were, or how even Stephen King got the idea to even do like a sequel to it. But I guess we'll have to find
Yeah,
out. I mean, I didn't read the book because the books take forever to read anyway.
yeah, that's true. But yeah,
But
I'm looking forward to it. At least Stephen King's still, he's still here to give his insight, so it won't be, dinosaurs or something in the film. I hope not, anyway.
I really hope not now. Cool. So I for the long day. So the first question, Bo, is what inspired you to start acting?
For me, it was, like I was saying earlier, just like my idols growing up, they inspired me in everyday life, and I just want to be able to hopefully inspire one person, maybe two people. It's just, I don't know, how they always say you get the acting bug or whatever it is, but it is true. You don't really think about doing anything else. It's hard to explain.
Well, I think I might know what you mean. I mean, I did act in a short horror film myself a couple years ago in a local short film anyway called Dead Static here in Vermont. And so I think I know what you mean by the acting bug a little bit, even though it didn't really grow on me, but it was fun trying to pretend to be somebody else and try to make whoever you're trying to portray come to life and make them seem real. I mean, yeah, it is quite fun.
Yeah. And it is. It's easier said than done, too. Because making the audience connect with the character, it can be a difficult thing. And so even to be able to do that to the audience in the room, or I don't know, in some cases, a whole state or a country or internationally, I think it's a challenge, and I think that's part of it too, the challenge of everything, trying to make these characters seem who they are, what they do, and where they're going in the film.
That's true. That is pretty true. Now, when you first started out, were there any struggles at all?
With me, I don't know. It's odd because I am for the most part a shy person. When I was a kid, I was very very shy, and it was nerves thinking about doing it. But then when the camera was rolling, it's like all the nerves are gone. I don't know. It's odd, but it's true. Maybe like you said, you're taking on the other character, so it's not really you. So the nerves kind of vanish. But for me, initially, I was always worried about the nerves thing because I was so shy. But once the camera was rolling, they sort of just went away.
Yeah, I see. I was the guy behind the camera because it was like a found footage film. So I was the cameraman, and everybody knows what happens to cameramans and found footage. So yeah,
That's
yeah,
true. Well, I got to check out that film. I'll watch it. Is it online?
it is. It's on YouTube called Dead Static. I'm in the last tale called The Pittsford Haunted House.
Ooh, I'll definitely take a look at it. I like the name though, Dead Static. That has a good ring to it.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Is like it's three tales based on real haunted places here in Vermont where people have actually either been attacked or scratched or something. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much based off of real places here in the Vermont paranormal areas.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
How did you become a stuntman?
I played football and baseball all growing up and in college, and I don't know, I just kind of said, yeah, I'll do it. I'm used to getting beat up, no problem.
That's like the
I didn't
best.
really have to take. I didn't have to take any bumps or anything though on when I was doing it for the Dexter series. It was just more of like a body double because I look like him kind of thing.
Speaking of that, you had landed your stuntman position on Dexter. How did that happen, and why did it only last a year?
I did the well. It happened. One of the producers, you know, the casting, headshots, all that stuff. I went through the agency and was like, "Hey, this guy looks like him. We want him." So that wasn't anything audition-wise for me. I just happened to be built like him, and it was when I was living in Miami. So they film everything in Los Angeles, and then they come out to Miami to do the, you know, the outdoor, the B-roll or Dexter from far away, you know, that kind of thing. And so I just did 2 seasons. I believe it was the 8th and the 12th where they put the footage I was in. But it's because they didn't shoot out there all the time, so they just kind of did as much as they could when they were there and then left back to Los Angeles.
That still had to have been fun, though. I mean, we're talking the TV show Dexter. I mean, everybody loved the show.
Yeah, and I was a huge fan. The first time I met him, it was odd, like down there in the marina where they were filming the police station. He was walking, but the sunlight was behind him, so all I saw was a shadow. Right? It's kind of like it was a scene in a movie. And the closer he got, the more, you know, it revealed his face and his body and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's Dexter. But yeah, quick hello from Michael C. Hall. He's a real nice guy. It was fun. Definitely fun. I wouldn't change anything for the world.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool that you actually got to be a stuntman for Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still love that show. That show, I don't know. I hope they bring it back one more season. Like a lot of people, I wasn't the happiest with how it ended. I'd like to see a little more.
Well, they were talking about a Dexter film to help answer that question of what happened with that ending finale season. But I don't know what's going on with the idea of Dexter movie anymore. So I don't know if it's still being, you know, up in the air or if they canned it. I don't even think I've heard anything new in a couple of years now.
Yeah, I haven't either. My fingers are crossed, though. I'd like to see it.
Oh, I would like to see it too. I was happy when I heard Dexter was coming as a movie form at least, because I think that would be longer, a little bit longer than the TV show. I think. I forget.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. You go in the big screen and see it too. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, Beau, was there any time too when you being as a stuntman that you almost felt like when you were trying to do a specific scene that something felt off, like something just really seemed wrong when trying to be a stuntman?
For the most part, they make sure everything is, you know, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. They make sure everything is in place. Nothing's going to go wrong. And fortunately for me, I didn't, not for a second on that during that filming. They had everything organized and ready to go. It was cool driving around in the Dexter mobile, though.
Man.
And it almost puts you, you know, you get the theme song in your head, you're driving around. Oh, my goodness. from Dexter right now.
Amazing. Alrighty. Well, Beau, so recently you just did your very own film here that was released on the 21st of December of last year, where you directed, wrote, and starred in it. And the title of it is called The Unearthed, The Curse of the Nephthys. The Nephthys.
Nephthys. You got it. Yeah, Unearthed, the Curse of Nephthys. We did 2 small little shorts about a character named Don Slayer, and he's kind of like Van Helsing, kind of. But he has these visions of monsters attacking innocent humans or people, no animals yet, but humans. And so he sees the vision, and he's drawn to where it happens in hopes of preventing, and stopping the attack. So those 2 shorts were very short. So I thought, hey, I want to do a feature. And I thought, what's vampires are everywhere, werewolves are everywhere, mummies are everywhere, but what if I do like kind of Egyptian mummy, but she is still, life form, not human form. I guess she's a goddess, but so that's where we came up with the idea for the film. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of the 80s, early 80s horror movies and kind of like even the sci-fi genre. So there's scenes in there that, looking down the well with the kind of like the barbarian cave behind him. It's an evil lair, but kind of the barbarian cave look. And our set designer who made that basically the evil lair, he was perfectly what I had in my head. So he is a genius.
Hey, that's what all it needs, really. I mean, you just need to find that one person that can just, you just talk to them or even just look at them, and it's like a telepathic message, and it's just like, I understand what you want. So
exactly, because we had like a couple brief conversations. I told him about like a couple of films about where the Greek gods were looking down on humans, and he said, okay, I think I got it. I think you got what you mean. And then he sent me like just a little snapshot from his cell of what he created, and it was exactly what I had in my head. So just like you said, it was just there. There's nothing you can say. It happened. So I was really excited and happy when I saw it.
yeah, I would be too. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, like recently, before the new year, before the new year even happened, I was like sitting down here in our apartment and stuff, and I'm just like, it would be a cool idea if I could write my own little short script for 2019 and see where it goes. So I sat down and I wrote a small little script called The Passenger. And I mean, I've gotten some feedback for it, of course, and stuff. And I'm just like, everybody I tell, I'm just like, just go easy on me, please, because I'm still trying to understand this script writing stuff. So don't just completely brutalize it yet.
Don't kill my dreams yet.
Yeah, don't kill my dreams. Please don't. And they were nice and stuff, and some people actually gave some good ideas. And then when I told them, I was just like, well, you want more detail, and I kind of did this fast because I at least wanted an outline of the idea, kind of, because I had it in my head. It's just a matter of putting it down with words, I guess. So
yeah.
But it looks like, because I'm looking at your IMDb too, this looks like it's your, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, your seventh project that you've actually directed.
Oh yeah. I think what my what I prefer, first love is acting, of course, and writing. I really love writing, telling the stories. And when well, especially, in the indie world, you don't have the budget to hire Spielberg or whatever the heck. So you get your team together, people you trust, people you can depend on, they're going to do a great job, and just kind of go with it. So directing in the smaller genre films is, well, to me, I don't much easier than coming in with Spielberg with now it's not 50 million, $300 million budget and stuff like that. That's a whole different world.
Oh, I bet. And I mean, it's nice. It's kind of cool to see, like, you have some shorts and some TV series, it looks like. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Unearthed like your first, like, actual full length
feature?
Yeah,
it's the first the feature that I directed. Yeah, I have several other scripts that I've written. And this year I'm hoping to bring at least 2 full edit and release them. But yeah, it's my first full feature that I've directed and wrote at the same time, which is fun. There's a lot of different hats, and I'm thankful I have a great team around me, because you get lost sometimes. They got to keep you on the ball. If you're acting, you're thinking, wait a minute, this isn't going right as a director's habit. You got to take it all off and just kind of go with what you believe and your team believes is going to work.
Unearthed, Curse of Nephthys, your latest film. What inspired you to direct, write, and act in this film?
I go to the gym a lot, and when I do the cardio portion, my brain just goes off thinking, creating, and it just hit me, hey, this is what I want to do. So once it hit me, it just my brain never stopped thinking about it until it was complete and a wrap. So I guess it was kind of an obsession with the idea that was in my brain. But I would not be able to sleep because I'm thinking, wait, what if I do this? And writing, forget about it. When I write, my brain, it doesn't stop thinking about the script or the characters or anything until that final draft is done. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of something that came in my head, and I couldn't let it go until it was done.
So basically, like the Energizer Bunny, except it's your mind.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All I wanted to do was sleep, but I couldn't because that dang little pink rabbit was running around.
It was telling you to write more, damn it.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? You don't need sleep? Are you crazy?
Get up and start finishing that script.
I don't know. Do you know who wrote the Conan the Barbarian books? Robert Howard.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, he would tell stories that he would write all night long, and he would see Conan behind him, like with a sword, saying, "Hey, keep writing, keep writing." Jeez, now that's a total different level. I never had Nephthys behind me or anything like that.
Well, not yet. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get to that point. I mean,
that is true.
I mean, I guess everybody could have their worst enemy behind them, poking at them, saying, "Keep going."
Yeah, that's true. That would motivate. I tell you what. Freddy Krueger was behind me if I was.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes if I'm not doing the podcast or even before the podcast, I used to write my own, you could say in a way, like poetry lyrics, and sometimes they're not really poetry. It's more like lyrics that you could actually use. It was like a band song per se. And I'll kind of tell either my personal life through that or stories through that. So that used to be what I used to do before Everything Horror Podcast was born. And that was almost 2 years ago, if you can believe that.
Wow. And now you have an outlet.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of slow here. I can at least write something for my, my poetry stuff, because for the longest time I had some people try to tell me I should try to publish my works and stuff like that, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if the world's ready for that. And then on December 22nd, 2015, I actually published my first book. And going back to what you were just saying, Beau, about the whole Energizer Bunny, where it's pretty much telling you to keep writing until the final draft. Well,
yeah.
Let's just put it this way. It took me, I want to say, about a week to put all my lyrics and poetry at the time into the one book, like, with the formatting and stuff. Which, when it first came out, I didn't really have any page numbers, and the layout kind of looked like crap. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this, but whatever, it's out there. And then later on, when I released my second book, I found out how to do like the page number, the format. So then I went back to my first book and completely reformatted that. So yeah, I mean, is that kind of like what you mean too, where I took that week or a couple of days or however long it took me to get that book ready within a couple of days? Yeah, I think I know what you mean a little bit about getting that final thing done.
Yeah, exactly. And it's impressive too, especially for a book. The creative side of you, putting it out there for people. It's like you're naked, You you don't really want to release it because you're like, oh my goodness, what are people going to say? What if they hate it and all that stuff? So I give you credit, man. Putting everything together in a book and putting it out there. It's not easy.
No, it's not, especially when you get publishers that try to tell you well, if you want to go through to us, we're gonna have to change this, and this, and it's just like, I'm gonna stop you right there, because one, you do not understand the meaning of the book cover for my personal meaning of why I created this to represent it like this with that specific book title. And two, like, at this point in time, I think I said something along the lines of like, the way that you're talking to me, it just sounds like all you see is just a profit in a way. Like, you're not really there to help me. So I kind of just shrugged them off, and then I just kept going with my thing. But I mean, every time I set out to, release one of my books, I made sure everything was original. That way, if somebody did kind of catch on to the hidden subliminal message of what I'm trying to say with the book title and the cover art or book art, whatever, maybe they might catch on. If not, then it's always good to get people to go like, I always wondered, what does that even mean? Like, why did you do that?
Yeah. Stick to your guns.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like how you did, because don't you run what is it called, the Lone Star Ranger production or something?
Oh yeah, I chose the most the longest name possible. I think the Lone Gunslinger Pictures, but it's exactly what you're.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying, because there's a lot of projects, and I was like, I really don't, I don't feel it. Not that it's bad. I don't feel it inside of me. So yeah, that's why I started Lone Gunslinger Pictures. It's like, well, I'll do some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, like you said too. Well, my idol, Stallone, he did the same thing. He had the script. They were offering him $300,000, and he was living, nowhere. He had no money or anything, and he stuck to his guns, like you're just talking about, because he knew he believed in what he wrote and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, no, that's always got to be a pain too. And I mean, we interviewed a guy. I don't know if you're familiar with the old like 8 Film to Die For series. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Well, there's a movie that was on that series called Wake Dead, and we interviewed the writer of that film, and he was telling us that he sold the script for Wake Dead 2, but it's now collecting dust on the shelf.
Because they own it, and he can't do anything.
Yeah, so, and it kind of sucks too because he was kind of telling us a little bit of what the sequel to the first one was, and it actually sounded interesting enough to kind of go like, man, this really needs to happen. So, and I guess he had plans to make like Wake Dead 3 and 4 and stuff, and I'm just like, Jesus, like this is ridiculous. But
yeah, that's tough.
I mean, it gets hard. I know it does, and I mean, I bet you came into complication too when it came to maybe doing some things as well. If not, then I'll be surprised. But
of course, yeah, everybody runs into difficulties, especially in that sense, because you got to eat, you got to pay the bills, so you sell your script, and then they don't, it just sits there like you're saying, and he has all these plans, but he's stuck.
Yeah, he does. Well, he does write his some books as well, and one of his books last year ended up winning. Oh God, I'm gonna probably screw this up now, but it's like he won a reward for like the best screenplay or something for his book called or script or something called Ted Score. So of course when I heard about that I congratulated him and stuff as well. So but I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So
yeah, well, I think the easiest thing is move forward. You have to. I know it's hard in the creative world though, because you put all your heart and soul into something, and then it's stuck. And then to gain more traction and push your creative juices in another way, it's easier said than done. But I'm glad that he did. Winning an award for a screenplay is a great thing.
I will second that. I mean, like you were saying earlier, just do it.
Do it. That's what I think. Nike really got a hold of that slogan. Just do it. Simple and true for everything.
Hey, that's always the best thing. As long as it's simple, it can just be that easy ride. If it's not simple, well then I guess you're just gonna have some hills and rocky roads and slide, and it's not always sand and mud. It's gonna be that rocky
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying too about you were saying you gotta love the hacks. So that comes into play with this question: How did you play it out when you had to direct an act?
Yeah, it can get tough. I mean, this is a fun '80s horror sci-fi thing. So there's not, you're not sitting there winning an Oscar for your acting performance, but at the same time, you have to stay in character and just remove the director's hat and not think about the scene. Otherwise, you're looking at blocking when you're acting, and then you're not acting. So you gotta find a way within you to separate the two. Some scenes were more difficult than some because you got the sun's going down a certain way, the shadows are forming on the other actor on screen with you at the time, and you see it. And as an actor, you're not allowed to see that stuff because it shouldn't be in your head. So it's not always easy, but you just gotta try to separate the two.
What made you want to choose Nephthys as the villain?
I've always been a huge fan of ancient Egyptian history, and so I wanted to go with an actual goddess, and she was the goddess of death and mourning. So I thought, man, her name is difficult, but it works with the movie. So the goddess of death and mourning came to be Nephthys in the title.
Yes, and she got quite a history. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah, it's even fun just to read about everything, her history, and what the Egyptians thought of her, and their whole folklore.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want to say I might have studied about her back in like middle school days, maybe. I mean, I do remember watching like the old videos for school where we learn about how they took the brain and stuff out of people.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the most interesting thing to probably see in school. It's just like, are we allowed to see this?
I know. Is there an R rating on this school video?
Right? I mean, we're watching this guy literally just take this hook and just to go up the nose and just drag the brain right out. Like, what the hell? And then we're seeing him cut open the chest just to put flowers and stuff in him. What is going on here?
Yeah, they got to smell good in the afterlife, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, no, definitely. It was, well, I guess you got to learn about it at some point, but it was a shock. But then they give you the frog and you got to cut up the frog.
Yeah. That was interesting too, the dissecting of frogs and stuff like that. That's always
a little different, I guess, than the human anatomy, but at least that was on video. The frog is right in your face. You just got to chop them up, which is very interesting, by the way.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was there really anything too like that really caught your attention with her? Like, is it just because like she was the goddess of death, or was it just because just because of the fact too she was known as like a dangerous lady, or is it kind of like all of the above of because of?
Yeah, I think it was all the above for sure. Because I went through other characters from ancient Egypt and stuff, and no one really fit the bill. I even thought about just using Isis, the goddess Isis, but no, I think Nephthys, she earned her place in the movie, so I had to go with her.
Nice. Now, how did How did you have to plan out the casting of your film? How did you go about picking who for what role as well?
Casting, for me, since I wrote it, I already had something in my mind, an idea of what the character looked like, how they moved, how they spoke, those little quirks that people have. So it's a fun part for me. I like to do initially through reel, what they've done in the past with films or television or commercials, whatever they've done in the past, and take a look at that. And I like to when they give they give them the side to say the audition and they do their audition, I like to watch it on mute because it can come across, and I'll watch it with the volume after, but I like to initially watch it on mute because you can see the performance, you can see the character without being distracted by I don't know, if something happens, if someone shuts a door behind the person auditioning, or if the person reading with the actor is too loud or something. So that on mute, it really breaks down just the person, just who's going to be on the screen during the whole movie. So, and then, you add in the voice afterwards, and if everything matches, we're good to go. And we're lucky we had a great cast. everybody did really well. I was happy with them.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I know sometimes some people, are very God, do I want to say just specific or strict on people? I mean, I know some people will really search for that like great actor who can really portray them and like stuff like that, and then you got the ones who aren't really well known. So, and to be fair too, I don't even think I've heard of any of the other actors that you casted, and they all did good. And it's just kind of really cool to see and actually hear you say watching the film like on mute and stuff. That's kind of interesting. I never even thought of that. Sometimes I got to try that out one time for a movie just to see what that would
Who
be
pops
like.
out?
Yeah,
You'll see it. Once you start doing it, you won't be able to stop because, well, initially, just because it's they pop off screen. You know how they always give that example. Oh, she has something, or he has something. He has it. I think a good way to see that is on mute without any distractions or anything. But yet, all the talent in this film were local. So I wanted to really push, and I still am going to really push the Arizona market because there's a lot of talent here. We're close to Los Angeles, so you can go over there for auditions and stuff like that. But I would like to build Arizona itself a lot more.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, kind of like with us. I mean, it was all local people, except for one person, but that was because he ended up moving to Florida. So when Dead Static came in to play, he had to fly all the way out here, and he was only here for like a weekend, and he had a couple scenes within Dead Static, and probably one of the most brutal thing that we had to do with him was the interview. And I just remember he was screwing up on something, and the guy who was directing was getting so mad that it was getting to the point of being midnight, and he didn't want to cut it. He really wanted this scene done, and so he told me and his partner and to go into town to grab candles, as many candles as we could, to come back to light up the place to make it look like the place was still alive. So it's just like, oh boy. So
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. I mean, and the cool thing was when you actually watch it, though, the cool thing that I like is that they did it pretty well to make it feel alive too, because they put the background noise of like the haunted house event that was going on. So it actually makes you think like, oh yeah, this was actually an interview while the Pittsburgh Haunted House was actually going on. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't make you think anything else like I just said. So yeah.
Yeah, the Hollywood tricks.
Yeah.
It is true. And without like the the soundtrack or the added ambiance sounds, it is pretty plain. But once you add everything, it's like magic. It goes together.
Yeah, I'll be figuring that out soon enough, I think. But I don't know if I'll have music, but I'll figure out something. But speaking of difficulty, when you were filming your film here for the Unearthed, did you run into any type of difficulties at all?
Yeah, we were in the desert, but there shouldn't be anything around, right? But there was airplanes. We were in the path. I don't know. I don't know if it was the day or days plural, but we were underneath the path of airplanes. Not the 747s, but like the little Cessnas, the little smaller planes. So a lot of the audio and everything, there's airplanes in and out, so it was a heck of a time trying to clean that up.
Ooh.
Yeah. I almost had to add an airplane scene just to make it seem like we want those airplane sounds in there.
Wow. But
yeah, that was the most difficult part, was getting rid of the airplane sounds, or loud noises at awkward times, or people driving by. But other than that, the actors were all great. Everyone knew their lines, knew that, their characters were spot on. So as far as they go, nothing really in that sense.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I think that was like the only difficulty that we had for when we were doing the final tale, was just that specific interview. Otherwise, everything seemed to have gone pretty well. There was a scene we were originally going to do where, like, me and the other protagonist were going to look out the window from where people have seen the ghost little girl. And as we looked through the window, we were supposed to see, like, the ghost girl outside, but that entire scene actually got removed. Just because we kind of realized that nobody had ever told or seen this little ghost girl outside of this place. They've always mentioned it's always like the second floor window. So that got cut out. And that was really about it, I think. I mean, I can't really think of anything other than just, like I said, that interview. So
yeah, I think every production is going to run into at least one or two. Now that you mentioned it, though, the initial scene with the cannibal guy, we got prosthetic teeth for him, to make him look like a creature or something. But those dang things, they wouldn't stick. Like, they would fall out every 2 seconds. So no matter what we did, the molding to his mouth, to his teeth, they just would not stay. So to me, that took something out of his character just because, but it's, that's the show business. It must go on. So you do the best you can and just go with it.
And that's funny that you just brought that up, because when Tessa and I were watching, we noticed there was especially that beginning there where you mentioned the cannibal. We were thinking it was a creature, so that's kind of funny that you mentioned that too. So
yeah, he was supposed to be a creature, but his creature special effects wouldn't work.
Oh, jeez, that sucks too.
It did. I mean, we did everything to keep him in his mouth, but they just, it looked worse because they were falling out. So one was there, one wasn't. So.
Well, I guess so. You were kind of answering this a little bit actually, and maybe you could elaborate more too, because when like the beginning, and I believe there's like one more in the end. Maybe there was another one, but I definitely remember the beginning and the ending, which I won't say too much of the ending, but there was that repeated scene going on, so my idea of it was, okay, what if we just watch this girl watching a horror movie or something, and then just like get her neck ripped out by this creature or human or whatever this is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, and then we notice, that girl that was just eaten or is now back to watching the movie again, to then you coming in and kicking his ass to the point where you just end up, I want to say chopping his head off, because then you just like look at the lady and you're just like, I'm sorry for the mess, and then you drag out the body. So yeah. I guess I guess for this question, I'm trying to figure out like what was the idea with these repeated scenes? Was it like a different perspective, or was it some sort of like a time warp?
It's what it is the character Don Slayer. He has a connection with there's all this evil in the world, but he has a connection with the good side. So the good side gives him these premonitions, these dreams of the bad things happening before they do, and his job is to stop them from happening. So it's a repeat for sure, but in the second one he's able to find out where it's happening because he has that innate ability to sense the direction. It's kind of like the birds fly south for the winter. They don't have a map, but they know where they're going. That's kind of the premise behind him having the premonition and then killing the monster before it kills the girl or the boy or whatever.
Oh. Okay, because we were confused what was kind of going on. We were like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? Because
I debated making a different color, or mess with the color corrections of the premonition, and then having the normal scene. But I went with this way. I trust you guys. You figure it out.
Well, that makes sense after you say that too, because it's just like, oh, okay, like that makes so much sense now. So
yeah, and you did get it right. I chopped his head off, but like I told you earlier, I'm a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock. So I want the audience to see it in their head, the gruesomeness, because there's no way, even if I showed like an actual decapitation, the person will be like, okay, that was gross, but whatever. But in your head, the mind can just morph and see all kinds of things that makes the most sense to the individual.
Or the most
without showing it on screen.
Well, yeah. Or the most creepiest, really, or dangerous, depending on how your mind is, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. I don't want to dig deep into too many people's minds. I don't know what they have going on.
I don't want to either. But, is there anything else, Beau, that you would like to talk about for your film that we may have not have gotten to ask you about? Because, I mean, I didn't know how much I could really say, so I wanted to at least get some insight on you as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you said what you did, so we could clear up the premonition part, because it's a big part. That's kind of his thing. He has the forecast before it happens, and then he tries to stop it. That's his main mission. That'd be the most important part. I know a lot of people didn't see the shorts called The Babysitter before this one, but it kind of has the character of Hannah Bennett. She's the girl who works in that I had like warehouse eBay store kind of thing. But she has that scar on her neck because she was killed by a revenant. But since I killed the revenant, his power was cleared from her, so she's not in danger of becoming a vampire or anything like that. So she is connected to the dark side as well, because I actually brought her back by killing the lead vampire that bit her. So there's kind of a relationship there that hasn't been fully developed yet in the feature film world, but it will be. Because I don't know, did you saw the flashback that she had when she was going to shoot? Oh geez, I don't know if I'm supposed to say all this stuff. Anyway, she has a flashback in the film, and it's from her death in the previous short film. So yeah, I don't know how much more I can say without, like you said, ruining the ending.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. That's interesting. Okay. I was wondering where that flashback was coming from. If it came from anything anyways, so that's kind of interesting. Cool little inside backstory there.
Yeah, that's a little short. It's called A Babysitter. It's on Amazon. It's like 8 minutes. It's a little short, but it gives you a little background into her character and mine.
I'll have to definitely check it out then. The Babysitter, you said?
Call the Babysitter.
All right, cool. I will definitely have to check that out too. So, Beau, is there anything in the works for 2019 or anything at all for
Yeah,
your
yeah.
own
Right now,
daughter?
as we were talking about earlier, the Energizer Rabbit. There's a canine feature film in there working its way out right now into the edited script, multiple times edited script. But yeah, it'll be a little werewolf action coming. I would say June-ish feature film. Werewolves. I love werewolves. American Werewolf in Paris. Not in London. Sorry, that was a big slip. American
Well, there
Werewolf
is
in
also
London.
Paris or
Yeah,
something
I did.
too. So don't
Yeah,
worry.
there is, but I didn't really like that one. But American Werewolf in London is my favorite werewolf film.
Oh yeah,
Do
oh
you?
yeah.
Which did you watch the American Werewolf in Paris?
No.
No. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm just asking. I saw it, but it's like we were talking about earlier too about how they make a part two or continuing the story doesn't always live up to the initial
The excitement,
film.
yeah.
Yeah. You put it nicely.
No, but just to clarify too, no, it's fine that you were asking. I'm just saying no. Like I think I've heard enough to kind of tell myself. I think I would rather pass on this one. I think from what I keep
Yeah.
hearing. So
I mean, I'm sure there's people that love it, and that's great because there's movies for everybody.
right, yeah. I mean, it. It's I think everybody just really just has their own. I mean, everybody has their own taste in everything. I know that. Just like you can't
Yeah.
please everybody and stuff like that. And you know, everybody's just so weird. Like Tessa and I, we kind of did an episode a long time ago when we first started, where like we were talking about how it's really weird that people want more jump scares rather than like really thought out scares, and it's just really interesting to see the horror community change, and it's just like I don't even know what the horror community wants anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100% on that. I think the scares need to be, concocted and slowly given to you to make it more scary. Jump scares is like a loud boom that you're gonna jump anyway, if you're scared or not.
Exactly. Bo, is there anything else that you would like to mention, or do you think we covered enough? I mean, I just want your input too. So,
No, yeah, we've covered everything on the film and some of your guys' background. I'm thankful for you guys to bring me on your show, and I wish you guys all the best. But as far as my stuff, I just have the werewolf feature film coming out later this year.
yeah. Well, I think before I give you this final question, then that I will say right now that when your werewolf film comes out, I will definitely will have to keep you posted, and maybe we can join up again so we can talk about your werewolf film.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be happy to.
Yeah, and for your final question tonight, Bo, is what advice would you give for anyone that want to start acting or becoming a stuntman, or any type of tips or tricks for writing their own script and directing their own film?
Uh, First and foremost, like we discussed earlier, just do it. Don't doubt yourself. Just do it. Little by little, doesn't matter. You're gonna get there. And in order to have a guiding force, for me, is just your gut. You got to listen to your gut. It's not gonna lie to you. If you think something isn't, shaky or you're not comfortable, don't do it. Go the other way where your creative juices can flow and you can, be inspired to become an actor or writer or whatever. Just keep doing it. Don't give up. And that's, you got to just keep doing it. It's like practice. everything you do, you get better at each time you do it. So don't give up. Keep working hard and follow your gut.
Hey, that's pretty much what I would say too. The only thing I would add in that I would tell people too is if somebody doesn't like it, I just tell them there's the goddamn door. Don't let it hit you on the way out too. So
yeah, you have to trust yourself. Can't listen to the naysayers, like they say. And
well,
like you said, there's something for everybody. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person. There's something for everybody.
exactly. Just like Unearthed may not be for everybody, and even though it may be for some, and at least you did it though. At least you did it.
Exactly. And the good thing about storytelling is you get better each time. So
That too.
yeah.
So Beau, thanks again so much, and also if you would like to, I will let you plug any type of social media or films of where you can watch them, especially like Unearthed and so
Yeah,
on.
head on.
Where
Absolutely.
people
Head
can
on to Amazon or Amazon Prime. The Lone Gunslinger pictures. We have a bunch of films on there. Unearthed, The Curse of Nephthys is on there. You can go to beauyotty.com and Instagram and Facebook Beau Yotty, and you'll be able to connect and see everything that's going on.
Very cool. Very cool. And what about if people wanted to find you on social media to try to keep up with everything that you got going on?
Yeah. Same. I mean, just search Beau Yotty, BAUYOTTY. Luckily, no one has that. It's pretty unique, so there won't be a bunch of me. It'll just be me.
Well, I will say that is a very unique name. So, yeah.
Yeah, my parents did a good job. I don't know what they were thinking, but I think they got that right.
No, they definitely did. It's better than Paul, which is a very popular name nowadays, it seems like. I mean,
That's true. It's a good name, though.
I'm filmed, so I guess I play a lot of actors. I mean, whatever. I mean, I know. I mean, I know a couple friends of mine used to joke with me about Family Guy, where there was one episode where, oh God, what was it? It was the one when they were making fun of something, but it was like with a penguin and an elephant. So, the character, like God comes in or something, and goes, like, looks at the baby that the penguin and elephant somehow made, and he's just like, what is that? And the animals are like, oh, that him? Oh, that's Paul. And it's just like, well, throw him the fuck overboard. And I'm like, oh, I'm like I see.
Poor Paul.
Yeah, see, exactly. So he used to pick on me for that, like, oh, you'd get thrown overboard. And it's just like, shut up.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Beau, thank you again for the opportunity. And like I mentioned, when your werewolf film comes out, we can definitely have you come back on and we can try to talk about the werewolf. That would be fun.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And everybody else, thank you for listening. This has been a interview with Beau Yotty. And definitely check out his new film, The Unearthed, The Curse of the Nymphs.
Nephthys.
Nephthys.
There we go.
So, what a tongue twister, but kind of.
It is, for sure.
And definitely check it out. I mean, it's on Amazon. And then afterwards, rate it. So that way it can be up there in rating as well. And I was your host tonight, Paul Doski, with my lovely fiance,
Tessa Baker.
And we like to tell you all, like every time, to stay scary.